Hello and welcome back to Seaside Garage. Let's continue on getting this Princess ready for the first real test drive and possibly MOT this Monday. I will continue on removing the brake lines now, or hoses actually, to fix that rust hole in here. And after that, it's bleeding time for those brakes. It's going to be exciting. Woo! Rusty. I need to remove the plastic liner to really assess how far this goes. Nice. After a bit of drying, I can refit the brake lines. I put some caps on them, by the way, to avoid getting crap into them. It was really nice to see how good the inner wheel arch, the condition is inside of there, because even though it looked fine, you never know what a wheel liner like that can hide. It can really be bad sometimes. But also it protects a lot, and in this instance that was the case. Like this. Now the brakes are now closed and we just need to bleed the system. Yes. 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 I don't really like vacuum bleeding brakes, but because of the way it's made on this one, I can't use my pressure bleeder. So this will have to do. But actually it works pretty well on this one because it's a really big nipple, so because normally it draws in air, which makes it difficult to see when you're done with it. So the brake bleeding is done. I actually ended up having to call an assistance for this, my wonderful wife, because it's a bit more complicated than I was expecting. Not really a lot. It would have been really nice if I could have used my pressure bleeder, but it doesn't fit this kind of connection, so it didn't work. But to bleed this, you have to bleed first the rear cylinder, then the two nibbles, the inboard and the top one, and then the last one, the outside one, and then do the same on the other side. So you actually have to have two open at one time and so on. But it worked just fine with an assistant. But I really just like using pressure bleeding because I like to be able to do it myself in my own pace, and using the pressure bleeder is a brilliant tool for that. So I would really like to try to find a set of connecting stuff that makes it possible to fit different kinds of brake reservoir caps. Not only the big one that is normally used. It's really rarely something else, but this one is different. But the brakes should be good now and ready to go. I haven't really done anything about the front brakes, but they work just fine. I checked that the caliper is sliding in and out, the pistons. It is, everything is working. So I expect that to be just fine. Next up, I'm gonna fit the air filter. But before doing that, actually, I'm just gonna put the car on its wheels again. Before it's ready for the test drive Monday, I just want to measure the height on each side. 67 and 65, yeah. And I presume that the wheel arch is somewhere in the right direction, but I can see that the car is slightly tilted because maybe there still is a slight leak somewhere, or maybe it's just settling in. As far as I know, when you pump them up, you need to take it for a ride and then check it again. And this one has been flat for a long time, so I don't think this is weird. But I'm gonna pump this one up to 67. And yeah, the car is by no means done. Still need to paint the wheel arches. There's lots of small stuff, the tappety engine and stuff like that I would like to fix. But I think it's getting pretty close to being safe enough to become a driving project and not just a standing project. But first, let's try to straighten up this princess. The reason why it dropped a little bit now was I just filled up the hose with pressure. I'm just gonna take some of the pressure out just to expel the air. Please tell me when it's 67 centimeters. I better check now because it's already a lot higher. I'm actually gonna use my level. And people who knows me will be surprised about this because I really rarely use a level for anything. But it's just easier to look at that until it's straight. That's right about there. 350 spot on, so something tells me that it's the correct pressure it's supposed to be at, and maybe I have a leak in this side, but not in the other because it's straight on now. 350 psi here. So I think at least one side is completely perfect now, maybe a small leak. And I think I can see a drop down there actually. And as some of you might remember, I tried to tighten it up or seal it up using some Teflon tape, but apparently I didn't use it correctly because it's supposed to be on the olives and not on the thread. So I might have to take it apart and repack all that, but it is tight enough to hold pressure for a long time. It's a long time ago I did it. So it's more than good enough for the test drive not tomorrow, but the day after. I'm not going to mess with it right now because if I mess it up, then it wouldn't be good. So this is good enough. Now I just need to switch it off. Like that. Take the pressure out of this one. Let's fit the airbox assembly, and you might remember this being really rusty, but I gave it a quick blast in the sandblaster and painted it silver. It's not perfect, but at least it's not full of rusty scales anymore. So that's that. And a big thank you to Matt Ford Engineering. He sent me these from England. These are hard to get because apparently it's only for the Princess 2200. And there's not a lot about. So it's original air filters. And I was actually, you can get some K&N filters for it, but they were really expensive. And this should be more than good enough. Ta-da! It's a really nice airbox design. I really like it. So this is it. I think it's ready for the test drive. So thank you for watching. It should be ready for the first real test drive Monday. We'll most likely find a lot of stuff that we need to fix, but so far it looks pretty nice. The brake seems to be just fine. I haven't found any rubbers that has been perished. I haven't found any play in the bearings and so on. So I think it got a good chance at least a pretty successful test drive Monday, but we'll see. Anyway, thank you for watching and see you in the next one. Wish me luck. It's gonna be fun.